Hello there, thank you for joining me. As some of you may or may not know, my name is Alex and I like to do the occasional short film, I like to do the occasional blog, and I also like to do the occasional review. And today we are here to review this smartphone, the HTC M8S. So hopefully this review will help you if you are thinking of buying one. Just before we begin, if you do find this video useful to yourself, please show your appreciation at the end by subscribing, because I would be much appreciated of that. And just to let you know, what we'll do with this video, we'll start off with an unboxing, just to show you what you get in the box. And then we'll obviously look at the phone itself, look at the features, I'll go through all the specifications for you. And then I'll also do a bit of comparison with the Apple iPhone 6 as well, just to show you which one, how it compares to each other. And then of course we'll talk about the flaws and pros and cons and all that. So hopefully, yes, this video will be of some use to you. Right then, so without further ado, let us get this review on the go. Okay, so that's the unboxing done and dusted, and here we have the new flagship smartphone from HTC, and I must admit my first impressions of it, it is very, very nice. It feels nice, it looks nice, and it works well. It is a very nice piece of kit, I must admit. Obviously it's an Android phone. Now I personally, this is my personal opinion, so don't take it literally, I am an Apple user. I do like their phones. Obviously they're a lot more expensive, but I do like them. But this, however, if I was to move to another phone straight away, it would have to be this HTC, because it really is, that's how good it is. It just feels so nice. You've obviously got the aluminium finish on the background, so it's, it's a solid back. It feels good again, it fits well in the palm of your hand. It's all going well so far for the HTC M8S on my first impressions. So yes, it's really stylish as well. It feels a bit heavier than usual, but we'll go into specifications about that shortly. And a bit of an annoying thing really I find is that the button is on the top, to make it go off. Now I don't know if that's just me or what, but I found that a bit of a nuisance, doing that, because obviously I'm used to it on the side, and I'm pretty sure other HTCs usually have it on the side as well. But apart from that, first impressions wise, I am quite literally blown away, because it looks nice, it feels nice. It's just a very nice piece of kit, or a nice phone to look at and feel, and it just works well. Okay, so let's go on to the specifications then. So as for this, it has a height of 146.4 millimeters. It has a width of 70.6 millimeters and a depth of 9.6 millimeters. So it isn't the thinnest of the phones, but it is not bulky either. It does, as you can see, it is rather thin, but you wouldn't say, oh, that's a heavy one. That's a big or chunky phone. It's still very slim. It does have the curved edges going around as well, so it's not a big chunk. It's it's not one big solid rectangle. It does curve around at the edges, so it's nice. It feels nice, even though it's slightly bigger. And when I say bigger, I'm talking about millimeters. You wouldn't even notice it really. As for weight wise, however, it comes up at 160 grams, which is, I think, is about 5.6 ounces. So it is a bit heavy. You can feel that difference. But to be honest with you, it actually works in its favour, because I think it feels more solid, more protected. It just feels good. It just feels really nice. And I'm going to try not to say that too many times during this review, how good it feels. Okay, let's go to the specs about the screen then. Okay, so it comes with a 5-inch display. It is a full HD LCD3 touchscreen. Okay, it has a resolution of 1080p by 1920p, so obviously, like I said, it is full HD. Obviously with your 16 million colours, and it has a pixel density ratio of 441 ppi. 441 ppi. So it looks nice on the screen as well. It looks like it's a true colour, true to life colours. It's really bright. Luxurious looking. It's a nice screen, and it's a nice big screen as well. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's a good size. So they really are doing well here, HTC, so far. Obviously the general software it comes with is obviously the Android, which a lot of people will already be used to, and I must admit, if you are an Android user and you're thinking of switching to Apple, or you're thinking of sticking with Android, if you're thinking of getting this HTC, obviously it's Android. And I would stick with Android. If you already are with Android, stick with Android, because you'll already be used to it. And on this HTC ONE M8S, the Android is extremely fast because of the amount of power in this. And that is what I'm going to explain to you now. So if you look at the CPU, for example, it has 2 quad-core processors. It has a 1 gigahertz Cortex processor, which is a quad-core one, and it also has a 1.7 gigahertz Cortex processor, and it's very fast. It is very, very fast. So 2 quad-core processors in a smartphone. It's extremely fast. Now, as for RAM, it also comes with 2 gig of RAM. Now, let me just put that on a comparison for you. I will do a proper comparison later, but with the iPhone 6 you only get a 1 gig of RAM. So on this HTC phone, if you've got a lot of applications open or you're doing a lot of multitasking, this shouldn't slow down. It really is that fast. It's got so much power in it. It's a little bit of a beast, as you could say. Yet it still looks stylish and fits nicely in your palm of your hand or in your pocket. So it's going very well. As you can see, HTC really have pulled all the stops out. When you buy the phone, you can either get it in a 16 gig or 32 gig memory. This one is the 16 gig. But best thing is you could have an expandable memory card slot, a micro SD card slot, which is expandable up to 128 gig. So if you're out there taking many a picture, many a video, then this will be the phone for you because it has an expandable memory card slot, which is really ingenious because a lot of other phones do not do that. So again, good for HTC. When it comes to your speakers and general stuff like that, obviously you've got this one thing about HTC I have noticed, it has the dual speakers. So it's got, if you hold it like this, for example, and you're watching a video, it has speakers here and speakers here. So you get pure stereo sound. Okay, so that's a good little touch there. Obviously, and your standard 3.5mm jack for when you want to listen to your headphones. But the actual speaker quality is really good. It's like, you know, it is true stereo. Moving on to talking about the camera, which I'm sure a lot of you are ready and dying to know about. Well, this actually comes with a 13 megapixel camera on the back, and then of course on the front it has the standard 5 megapixel. Still very good indeed. I must admit it's a lot of power for this camera. So yes, that's all the specifications done, and when you're looking at the phone in general, it is really nice. Now don't get me wrong, if you've already got an Android phone, you are just going to end up with another Android phone. But this is extremely fast. It just feels fast. It looks fast because it is fast. It's a pleasure to use. It's really quick. Doesn't slow down if you've got numerous or you're multitasking. And generally, it's just a pleasure to use. It really is. It's a nice phone. It feels nice. It looks nice. And it is nice. That's all I really have to say generally. I mean, what more could you want? Now, for those of you who are an Apple user and you're going to struggle trying to move over to another phone, but if you've had some problems with Apple in the past and you do want to move, I would highly recommend moving to a HTC because it really is, it's a dream to use. Now, I've used Samsung in the past, I've used Apple, and I still use Apple at the moment. I've used Nokia, and I'm sorry, but HTC is the best so far. Personally, my personal opinion, it just seems to work like a dream. And yes, don't get me wrong, HTC have crammed a lot into it, but they haven't overdone it like Samsung have done in the past with, like, for example, the S5, where there's just been too much going on at once and it became too fiddly and the battery was going hot and all that sort of thing. So HTC really have done well with this. I'm very pleased with what they have done. Now let's go into some comparison about the iPhone 6 and the HTC, okay? So let's see. Specifications wise, obviously I've done the height, width and depth details. Now you can see from the Apple iPhone 6, the actual iPhone 6 is slightly smaller and slightly thinner, but it is also lighter. It's only 129 grams. And which is about 4.5 ounces, so it's just over an ounce lighter, as this one is 160 grams in weight. If you look at the screen wise, now this is where the HTC takes full the winner's prize, because this one obviously has a bigger screen, 5 inches. The iPhone 6 only has 4.7. This one is a full HD screen. The iPhone 6, however, is only it's almost like a HD ready screen. Imagine that. So it's not full HD, it's just below HD. Power wise, the HTC smashes the iPhone 6 out the water. Obviously this has 2 quad core processors, whereas the iPhone 6 only has 1 dual core processor, which is at 1.4 gigahertz processor. Also, as I've previously mentioned, this has the 2 GB of RAM, so it stays super fast no matter how many things you've got open. The iPhone 6 only has 1 gig of RAM, which is why some of you may have noticed in the past with Apple, where things start to slow down. So yes, power-wise, as you can see, I'm not even going to finish talking with that sentence. The HTC has blown Apple out of the water. Okay, so that pretty much sums up the review of the HTC M8S. So I hope that helped you make up your mind if you're thinking of getting it. Personally, I do think it is an excellent phone. I wouldn't be surprised if it won the Phone of the Year award. And that is basically pretty much it. But yes, a fantastic phone. Well done, HTC. If you've got any comments or feedback, please write them in the comments below and I'll try my very best to find the answers for you. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and show your appreciation, and hopefully I'll see you again very soon. Thank you.